Welcome to the show that loves movies. It is Let's Be Real, and on today's episode, we are doing a roundup of the box office. The Nosferatu trailer is here. The Here trailer is here. See what I did there? Red One trailer is here as well. We're going to talk about all those trailers. Harry Potter TV series that finds a showrunner and a director. Shrek 5 apparently releasing in 2025 with a Donkey spin-off coming as well. And then we're going to cap things off with our Victor of the Picture. I'm James, that's Nayan, and we're coming to you from Australia and New Zealand. And as always, before I get into things, drop comments below, tell us what you want us to cover, and we'll do it. We want to do anything, rankings, topics, news, whatever it may be, let us know and we'll do it. Appreciate you guys for joining us today. So, without further ado, Nayan, I think we just jump into this one. This one seems like a fun one for me.
Mm-hmm. Let's do it.
All right, let's do it. Okay, so the box office, there's so much talk about the box office. You know, we're deep into that summer movie season. Inside Out is currently dominating. It is the highest grossing movie of 2024 already. The second weekend earned $101.2 million. Second weekend. Now, remember, the tracking for the first weekend was 80 to 90 million. That was by deadline for the opening weekend. And the second weekend blitzed past tracking numbers. Insane. It's the highest second weekend ever for an animated film. It is the seventh highest second weekend of all time. And it's only the seventh movie to cross 100 million in the second weekend. It got the highest opening of all time in Colombia and Turkey. And the top 5 opening weekend of all time in Mexico, Argentina, Central America, Uruguay, Ecuador, Peru, Bolivia, Israel, and the Philippines. That's pretty significant. This movie is massive. Domestically, the total is 388 million by the end of today. By the time of recording this, which is Thursday, New Zealand, Australia time, it'll be hit 400 million for the ninth fastest to reach that figure of all time. Worldwide total sits at 800 million right now. The domestic floor for this, and so this is kind of the lowest it's gonna go, unless Despicable Me makes it drop by 65%, which, let's be honest, that's not going to happen. So the floor for this is 600 million domestically, but the ceiling is 715. That's if it gets to these, these 35% drops all the way through. But the projection, that's where I'm thinking that it's going to land, is about 660 million, tracking just ahead of Barbie at this point in time. And then we move on to the worldwide side of things. So the floor for that one, that's kind of the lowest it's going to be, is 1.4 billion. And yeah, that's where it's sitting right now. If it hits that, it doesn't beat Frozen 2 for the highest grossing animated film of all time. But the ceiling for this is around 1.6 billion. I cannot see it going above that at all, unless it's flawless throughout the way through. But yeah, I would say that's the ceiling, with the projection at 1.5 billion for the highest grossing animated film of all time. Also the highest grossing film domestically of all time, beating The Incredibles 2. So Nayan, after that massive breakdown on all the records and everything it's made, what are your thoughts on Inside Out 2's run so far?
I don't even know where to start, what to say, where to begin. I feel that we've said it all already on the past 2-3 podcasts. I mean, you keep saying that, this is as high as I can see it, this is as high as I can see it, and every week it goes higher and higher and higher. So your whole worldwide off the 1.5, where you said that's as high as I can see, I don't believe you anymore, because we've had 2 weeks that just disproved every single box office critic in the world. You know,
it's true.
This is this isn't probably one of the most unpredictable movies I've ever seen. Besides Taylor Swift's Eras Tour, that was pretty unbelievable numbers as well. But this is just out the gate. Does Despicable Me come out this week or next?
It's already out in Australia. It's all over the place. But with America, it's not this weekend, it's next weekend. You got A Quiet Place day one this weekend in America.
All right. That's R-rated, I think, from memory. I can't remember off the top of my head, but I think this has easily another week of decent numbers as well. We'll probably get into it later. I'll get into that later for sure. But I can see this just dominating this weekend and maybe coming just... it's got another week of making very, very good money with A Quiet Place day one. I mean, I've seen zero marketing for this film, unless I would go to a cinema.
For day one.
I've not seen anything. I haven't seen anything on a billboard or as an ad or on a
Oh, really?
or on a bus. I've seen nothing for this one. So that's where my thoughts are in this. I don't think it's going to do that well, but I could be wrong. And based on past Quiet Place movies, they're not really that good. But
Yeah.
man, this film, I think it could go for that ceiling. I think it's going to hit that ceiling. That's my prediction. I think it's going to be the highest grossing animated film of all time.
I like it. I do think it's going to be the highest grossing animated film of all time. Its floor is so low, but as you said, dude, it keeps defying expectations. That's why the floor to ceiling range is 200 million. That's a very large range because it keeps defying expectations like this. We have to see... we're going to see how things are going to turn out once Despicable Me 3 comes out. That's its main competition. But yeah, man, just such an incredible run. These runs are they're so rare. I haven't been this surprised since, Top Gun Maverick, I think. When that Top Gun Maverick just blew me away. 700 million in the US was just ridiculous.
And this still hasn't opened in many of the major markets too.
Yeah, I think we got, Poland, Portugal.
Japan, right?
Japan. New Zealand, it releases today for you guys. Japan. So just some big markets already on the horizon. Yeah, this is nuts. I'm more shocked, not so much about, I am shocked about the domestic side of things, but the, opening weekends around the world, top 5 of all time. This is not animated. This is all time in Mexico, Argentina. I think Argentina registered its highest box office weekend in history because of Inside Out 2's performance. It's not I think it's second of all time in Argentina openings, but Argentina's total box office for that weekend is the highest in the country's history. It blows me away. This one's shocking. But I think from, this performance here, this is going to be the highest grossing film of 2024, worldwide and domestically. Deadpool is not beating it. Nothing else is going to come close to this.
Despicable Me, lad. The minion power.
Bro, could you imagine? Could you imagine, man? No chance there. We'll see if it gets $1 billion though. That one's going to be an interesting topic of conversation. But that moves us to weekend projections, and you covered it a little bit. What I am projecting for this weekend is Inside Out 2. Now, I saw, a bunch of the major publications, they're thinking 55 to 60 million. No, you got to bump those numbers up. I'm guessing 65 to 70 million. That's going to put it top 7 all-time third weekend. And honestly, I'm not going to be surprised if it goes above my projections. They're already high enough, but this movie just continues to defy everything that I say. So I got to raise the bar a little bit. If it goes above 70 million, don't come to me and say I'm wrong or anything. I'm saying it right now. It's entirely possible and entirely likely that it's going to do so. But the only reason why I'm not saying above 70 million in my official projections is because if it gets 70 million or above, that's the second highest third weekend of all time. Of all time. It's the second highest, and I just don't see it beating an Avatar, an Endgame, or Force Awakens kind of third weekend. So yeah, 65, 70 million is a safe bet from me. It's still higher than what most people are predicting, but hey, you got to look at what things are doing right now. And to that, a little bit more substance to my arguments just before. A Quiet Place at day one, I'm predicting around 45 million, 43 to 45 million, I think is the safe range for this for open. I think the A Quiet Place 1 and Part 2, they opened to 45, 46 million. So it's in line with what the franchise has done already. A Quiet Place Day 1 is going to be taking premium screens of Inside Out 2, so it doesn't get that extra, ticket surcharge boost. But yeah, A Quiet Place Day 1, 45 million. I think that's pretty ideal. I think the budget's like 56 or something. So this movie, it should make a nice, easy profit. 45 million plus is ideal for it. But if you're seeing below 40 million, you have a little bit of a reason to be worried there, just in regards to the future of the franchise. But regarding the budget, it's pretty good. Mm-hmm. Nayan, what do you think? Where do you see these movies going?
I think Inside Out, your projections is all right. I'm going to say 75 million. Mm-hmm. I'll go higher. This thing is this thing's a beast, man. This thing's a beast. A Quiet Place Day 1. Yeah. I actually think I might come in a little bit lower, I think... didn't the other two A Quiet Places come round about this mark?
Yeah, 45, 46.
Yeah, I think it might be a touch lower. I reckon it'll still be in the 40s, but the very low 40s. That's my opinion. But this is a perfect thing where, you know, adults can go see A Quiet Place Day 1 and the kids can go see Inside Out 2, you know, accompanied by a parent or an older teen. We don't want 5-year-olds going to a movie by themselves, obviously. But, or even like if Inside Out 2 screenings are full, the next best film to go see would be A Quiet Place. So I think A Quiet Place is going to benefit quite a lot from Inside Out 2 as well. So yeah, I'm interested to see what Tuesday for us would bring.
No, it should be interesting, and you are right in terms of like the counter programming, you know, kids to Inside Out, adults to that, people Inside Out, you know, things are full, and then A Quiet Place Day 1, people can just go into that. Yeah, I think it's going to be the one. Sadly, A Quiet Place, Paramount did not give us a screening for A Quiet Place. Not in Brisbane.
Not in New Zealand.
Not in Auckland. Yeah, I mean, I don't know what's going on there, but I know that I am seeing on Tuesday, I'm going to a 4DX screening of A Quiet Place Day 1.
What? Okay,
So,
explain to these guys what the fuck 4DX is, because I don't know.
all right, so a 4DX is kind of, it's as close to 4D as you can get. You know how there's 3D and you see it all three-dimensional and stuff? 4DX just has a little bit more, you know, sensations and, I don't know, just things happen to it. You know, the chairs move, mist will spray in your face, there's smoke, there's lights. It's a crazy experience. I went and saw Sonic 2 in 4DX. The person who I was with saw it. They got a bruise because those chairs are horrifically violent. They throw you around. I think they should put seatbelts in them. But I was like, 4DX is not New Zealand, and so I want to go to a 4DX movie before I go back to New Zealand. So, hey, there we go. It's the right time to see it, and I didn't get a screening for this, so we have to go to 4DX, man. And when you come over here, 4DX, you better go to it. You need to understand.
I want to see it Interstellar in 4DX, and on the docking scene, it's just the seats going like this.
Just spinning around. You're just like throwing up and everything. Oh.
Beautiful.
Beautiful. A movie you might throw up in though, Nosferatu. The trailer came out for that. I know you had it in your most anticipated list. I did not. I don't think I even had it in my most
honorable mentions.
More like the honor. I don't know. I might have, but anyway, it was not something that I was interested in, despite the cast and crew behind it. So we know who's behind this. Robert Eggers. We know what he's done. It's starring Aaron Taylor-Johnson, Nicholas Hoult, Bill Skarsgård, Willem Dafoe, Emma Corrin, Ralph Ineson, Galactus, and Lily Rose Depp. It's about a gothic tale. It's about the obsession between a haunted young woman and the terrifying vampire infatuated with her, played by Bill Skarsgård, causing untold horror in its wake. So supposedly it has a smaller budget than The Northman, which was around that 70 million mark. But Nayan, you've seen the trailer. What do you think, man?
Yeah, I think I had it in my top 5. Definitely in my top 5 most anticipated. I can't remember. Might have been third. Don't know. I can't remember. My phone's there. It's charging. Usually I refer to that. But no, I did. Yeah. I'm glad I put it on that high. I mean, Kyan actually got me into Robert Eggers. When The Northman came on, I think that was because of our side bets. I was like, okay, might as well watch all of his films, and I did. And then you know about the bet. He knows about the bet. The bet I lost. If we won't get into that. But yeah, it looks very much like a Robert Eggers movie. You know, that natural lighting, the sort of like cinematography, Willem Dafoe in it. You know, I think he's like a staple of his as well. And same with I forgot his name. What's his name? Ralph Ineson. He's a staple in his movies as well. It looks good. I think I wouldn't really want to see another trailer or a teaser or anything else for it. I think this one satisfied me enough because it just left a lot of mystery, but didn't actually see Nosferatu himself, which is awesome. I mean, I know a lot of studios nowadays would reveal the big reveal either in the trailer or at the very end, or in a toy. So yeah, I'm excited to see this, and I really just hope I don't see anything online in regards to what he looks like, because I want to see that in person. And I also think this could be Lily Rose Depp's, big break. We saw her in that space movie. Can't remember it.
I don't remember that name.
But you know exactly which one I'm talking
exactly
about. Yeah, and
awful movie.
and I think in that one we said that she was good in it, but not great. She just needed a competent director to push her into the right direction. Robert Eggers is a competent director, and I think he can really bring the best out of Lily Rose Depp, and I really hope he does. So that's probably the performance I'm most looking forward to is Lily Rose for me.
Fair enough. Yeah, I mean, like, you can say this is definitely on my radar now. It's, I shouldn't really have doubted Robert Eggers to begin with, but I maintain the fact that I don't really care about the story that much. But from just a pure filmmaking and cinematic level, this looks awesome. This looks like, it has the right atmosphere. It looks, terrifying, but beautiful at the same time. Robert Eggers, he's really just continuing to get better and better on a visual level as each film goes along. But in terms of the actual premise of the film, it's not something I'm too interested in. But I know that, or I feel assured that once I'm sitting down in there, that Robert Eggers, as we start to watch it, he's going to be able to hook me into what's happening, and I'm going to be fully invested while watching the movie. I have no doubt about that. So yeah, this is one to be super excited for. It comes out around Christmas time. And Robert Eggers seems really, really good with making little budgets look like big budget stuff.
100%.
This looks like, all right, it looks like it's got a pretty hefty budget behind it. I'm like, oh damn, they must have a big budget than The Northman, but nope, it does not. So yeah, I'm super excited to see Robert Eggers take the next step in his career, and I hope this is the right direction and it's something good. As for the performance side of things, yeah, I really like all of these actors. I mean, Lily Rose Depp, I want to see what she can bring and see if she can be one of those actresses that can provide great performances in these types of movies. So super excited to see what she can do with that. Bill Skarsgård, him playing the vampire is something interesting as well that I'm on the lookout for. So yeah, I'm kind of bring on Christmas already.
Bring on Christmas.
And not the red one. What's the better Christmas movie, Red One or Nosferatu? It's going to be a good competition.
Yeah, we'll get to that later, won't we?
We will. But yeah, anyway, what do you guys think about the Nosferatu trailer? Did you watch it? Have you seen it? Do you like Robert Eggers? Are you going to go see it? Let us know what you thought down below and if you're going to see it. And we can have a conversation from them. All right, so here, the trailer for the movie's called Here, by the way. So Here is an original movie. It's about multiple families and a special place they live in. And so the story travels through generations, and it's basically about capturing the human experience in its purest form. Described as a film shot from a single, unchanging perspective that takes place over a century. So if you've seen the trailer, which we have, and we're going to talk about the trailer, is that it's just one shot the entire time. That's literally all it is, and that's supposedly what the movie's going to be. No zooms, no pans, nothing. Just one shot, and everything happens in that one frame. It is directed by Robert Zemeckis. He did Forrest Gump, Castaway, and Back to the Future. And you probably think this is a great director, but he seems washed because he did the bad Pinocchio that Nayan hated. But he also did Nayan's movie, The Witches, as well.
Not my movie.
Awful. He liked it, but those movies were awful. They were just so bad, and those were his two most recent movies. So who knows where this guy is going to go? Is he going to go the Forrest Gump, Back to the Future way, or is he going to go to The Witches and Pinocchio way? Who knows? The writer is Eric Roth. He did Killers of the Flower Moon, Dune, A Star Is Born, Forrest Gump. All great stuff. It stars Tom Hanks, Robin Wright, and some interesting facts about the film already is that the film uses a new generative artificial intelligence technology, and it's called Metaphysic Live Face Swap. And it de-ages the actors in real time as they perform instead of doing it in additional post-production. Like CGI. We've seen this when it comes to de-aging. So real-time de-aging of actors as they shoot the movie. It reunites Hanks and Wright, the Forrest Gump, Janae and Forrest. And it also brings back Zemeckis, Roth, and the original cinematographer for all of those five people coming together since Forrest Gump in 1994. So Nayan, can Robert Zemeckis, can he right his wrongs in Pinocchio and the Witches and creating another classic movie? And what were your thoughts about the trailer in general?
Yes, I think he can. I mean, this film already has such an interesting concept. There's a lot going behind it. You got a great crew behind it, and you also have a great cast behind it. Where Pinocchio and what's the other one? The Witches. Just it didn't. I mean, it just had probably one A-list or high-tier actor or actress, and that was it. So I think this is probably gonna. This is like the right step for him. I think he's going, you know how we say like Taika Waititi and Ridley Scott on like their last straw. I think if this film is a dud, then he's definitely his last straw. But I don't think so.
Yeah.
I think this is going to bring him back. This is going to be a big win for him. In regards to the trailer and the fact that it's shot in one shot, that is so cool. We rarely ever see that. It's going to be so interesting. I hope a lot of people go and see this movie just to see how creative filmmaking can be, instead of just CGI explosions and superheroes. You know, there's a lot more behind the scenes that can make a film great. And just something like this, you know, with 1917, the whole film being in one shot, that's something the audiences don't see that often, and that's why it's so universally loved. And I think this is going to be very similar. You know, it's something that people don't see that often, and everyone's going to love it. In regards to that AI technology, this is a perfect example of using AI as a tool and not a person. You know, you're saving time for sure in regards to making a movie, but you know, it's doing the job of de-aging someone while they're acting, rather than, you know, spending a lot of time like doing a shitty job to de-age characters. Now, sure, the de-aging of the characters in the trailer looks pretty shit, but hey, this thing is just been announced today, all right? In my mind, you know, that this is the very first thing. Just give it a couple decades, and then this tool is going to be absolutely perfection. In regards to aging, I think the aging looks really good. You know, there was a shot there at the end with old Tom Hanks and old Robin Wright, and they look generally old. And my opinion is that aging looks so much more better than de-aging, just because you can do so much with aging. We saw it in Maestro as well with old Bradley Cooper. So yeah, I wouldn't say I'm excited for this film. I'm just highly intrigued for it. I want to see what this AI tool does. I want to see what Robert Zemeckis does, and I just want to see this film in one shot.
Yeah. One thing you were wrong about there, very wrong about, so I'm going to clarify that real quickly with you. Taika Waititi is not on his last straw. Nick Skull wins was his last straw. He's done. He's gone. All right. I don't want him around any movie ever. Ridley Scott and this guy, they have their chances. Okay. Let's not put them in the same bracket as Taika Waititi. We're not going to do that. Not yet.
You were thinking about that the entire time I was talking past that. You weren't listening to what I was saying. You were just caught up on that comment.
I was just seedy, bro. Yeah, my jaw was clenched. I'm just angry. You know, I'm getting a little bit hot now. My blood's boiling.
Your face is very red.
No, but I listened to everything you said. You are right about Robert Zemeckis. You know, just the recent track record of what he's got in his movies from the filmography perspective, they're not good. So this is his chance to really come back and prove that he can direct great movies again. I love the concept. I don't know if it's going to work. It's going to take a special kind of visionary director to make something like this work. It's really going to be a hard thing to keep people engaged on just one frame and a camera that does not move or cuts away to another location. You're going to have to really keep people engaged, and that's going to be through character, through the dialogue. And I think bringing on Eric Roth as a writer here just might be the key part of making this whole thing work together. Without strong dialogue, people are going to get bored very, very quickly. So I'm glad that Eric Roth is a part of this. As for the new AI thing, yeah, you are right. It looked pretty horrendous. It looked like it was like changing. Like, you got that Robin Wright, that close-up, and it looked like her face kept changing, and I was like, whoa, like, that was just real weird for me. So, I mean, hopefully there's some post-production work that just cleans a little bit of that. But yeah, like, you are right in terms of it being a tool. And this is the perfect way to do it. And hopefully this thing continues to get better, because this is a really unique kind of AI that you can use in filmmaking, where it's not used in a way where people are going to be, up in arms, protesting and rioting about it. They're going to be like, this is good. This is what this can do for filmmaking, and the kind of narrative and stories that they can do on a visual level are going to be so interesting once this is kind of mastered. It's clearly not mastered now because we saw the trailer, but yeah, man, I'm right on board with you with this one. I'm not going to say I'm excited for it, but I'm intrigued.
Same
and I
as
want to
me,
see how
yeah.
it turns out. Yeah. If this movie works, and I mean really works, potential little Oscar contender could be in here. We got to see, though. It's clearly got the talent in front and behind the camera for it.
For sure.
Here
we go. Your topic now.
He's waiting for this one. No. Oh, man, I'm split on this one, so I'm going to have to let you talk for the most part about it. I don't want to say anything I'm going to regret. All right, the Harry Potter TV series. If you have been a very loyal listener to Let's Be Real, you'll know that I hate this idea so much. I mean, I have 99 problems, and this is at the top of the list. I hate this so much. Harry Potter TV series with HBO Max, whatever you want to call it, is in development. We know how this is. It's going to be one season per book. And yeah, but they have found their showrunner and director. So the successor showrunner, Francesca Gardner, and the succession director, Mark Malloy, they've been tapped in for Harry Potter. They've won multiple Emmys between the both of them. And Francesca Gardner, she's going to be the showrunner for this series. Mark Malloy, he's going to be directing about multiple episodes. And so what he's doing 4 episodes for The Last of Us Season 2, which comes out next year. And he's done Succession, Shameless, and Game of Thrones prior. He also directed that little movie, The Menu, as well. So this is quite a resume. It's supposed to come out in 2026, but we got a showrunner and director who are clearly talented and can actually do some good. So before we get to my answer, Nayan, does this restore your faith in a Harry Potter TV series, rebooting those perfection movies? Doesn't even make sense. I can't even put a sentence together. Go ahead and talk.
No, it doesn't. Like you said before, there's like a couple things that should never be touched. Lord of the Rings is one, Harry Potter's the other. You just can't reboot them. You can't remake it. You can spin off them for sure, but the originals, just leave them alone. This is one of them. I have not seen Succession. I have not seen the stuff that Mark Malloy has directed, apart from Game of Thrones. I don't even know what episodes he directed for Game of Thrones. Could have been like the stuff from season 7 and 8. If that's true, then
I probably should have found out that information.
Yeah. Well, while I talk, you can find that information. But yeah, I have heard of Succession. I have heard that it is good. So I think that restores a bit of faith in this series for me. The 2026 release date is interesting, though, because this is all we've heard. That means that they need to start pumping out the cast really, really fast. And they probably needs to start shooting first half of next year, at least, in my opinion.
Yeah.
So I think they are leaving things a little bit too late. The release date is 3rd or 4th quarter of 2026, then they might be able to do it. But then, a world with Harry Potter, there's a lot of spells and magic and creatures and that you just need to, a lot more time. And then you also have to take the fact that you have to do this back to back to back every single season, because the kids are going to... It's not like the movies where you can have a year gap and then come back and it's fine. No, because these kids are going to grow facial hair. I was going to say something else, but I'll just refrain from saying that. But yeah, I think my hype for this is the same as it was before. I'm not more excited. I'm not on board with this, or I'm not off. There's just they've named people that I haven't seen any content for, except for that Game of Thrones guy. I have seen the movie. Oh, sorry, The Menu. I have seen the movie, and I did really enjoy that. Yeah. So. Yeah, I'm on board now. No, I'm not.
No, don't do that.
Nah.
Don't do that to me.
Nah, I'm not. I think even if a cast was announced, I would still be in the same boat. It's not until I see footage, just so you can get the gauge of how different they're going to make it or how similar they're going to make it to the films. I think that is when a true opinion can be formed. So even if the cast comes out, no doubt we're going to discuss that, but my opinion is going to stay the same until I see some actual footage.
Yeah, I mean, you're absolutely right. We got to see footage before we can start even getting, remotely excited for this. I am, completely on board with what you're saying, dude. I am not on board at all still. This does not reassure me in any way. Look, I know I've heard so much about Succession, how great it is and all the Emmys it's won and how highly it's rated on RT and IMDb. But I mean, I don't care because it's a completely different entity. It's a completely different IP, and it's kind of an IP that's basically perfected. Like, sure, the Harry Potter series, all those movies, they have certain issues. None of those movies, maybe except for a couple of them, are masterful. Like, there's definitely the issues in those movies, but the continuity, the start to the finish, the consistency and quality, it's just perfect. It's almost something that you cannot replicate. And I don't see the TV series doing this at all. This feels like something where it's going to do 2 seasons and, no one's watching, no one cares, or it's too bad, and they're going to stop. I might be a little bit forward in that kind of thinking, so we'll have to see. But I'm trying to be open-minded, man, but it's so hard because what Harry Potter, the film series did, is it kind of made almost everything in it iconic. Mm-hmm. And I mean, the actors playing the characters, all of those roles are pretty much iconic now. It's so hard to see any of them be recasted. I cannot imagine it. Especially, the trio of Harry Potter, Hermione, and Ron. I can't see anyone playing them in a compelling way where I buy into it. Also, the set design, the look of Hogwarts, the look of the creatures, the score. Just nothing. And then so I'm like, okay, if it feels like it's a lose-lose situation, because if the Harry Potter TV series, they make everything very much the same and keeping the same kind of score, they keep the same look and feel of Hogwarts and the students, then what's the point of making it if they cannot differentiate the most basic elements of filmmaking? And then on the other side of it, if they change too much, people are going to be like, whoa, this is weird, this isn't like Harry Potter at all. And so everyone's going to hate it on that side of things. So I just don't think you can win with something like this. And it's the same as Lord of the Rings if they were to reboot that original story that they did. So, yeah, I mean, I'm happy that they got really great talent behind this, but I need to see something before I can even be open to the idea that it can be good. Mm-hmm. Yeah. But what can be good is Shrek. We love Shrek, don't we? Shrek is great.
Shrek is love, Shrek is life.
Exactly. All right, so we got some Shrek news, and we needed Shrek news. Life is not great with Harry Potter TV series in development, so Shrek is coming to save us all, and also even better, a donkey spin-off is here as well. So Eddie Murphy reveals in an interview that he started recording his lines for the next Shrek film months ago. They've done the first act, and they'll be finishing it up throughout the year. Eddie Murphy has also revealed that a donkey's going to have his own movie. He said that Shrek 5, he's going to release or record his lines for that first, and then they're doing a donkey movie. So even more to that, Eddie Murphy has said that it's coming in 2025 next year. So they've managed to hide any kind of news or leaks, for the most part, about this movie coming out next year. So that's a great surprise. And it's coming from Eddie Murphy, and it's not coming from the studio. So my first thought when I heard this news was like, maybe it's not actually going to come out in 2025, or maybe it's not Shrek 5. Who knows? But, actors, they do not make official nominations for films coming out unless they're The Rock. But, Eddie Murphy. But there's other news to this that kind of gives weight to this. So Eddie Murphy, he's already said that he's going to return in a heartbeat. So that explains his enthusiasm in that interview. Shrek 5 was previously confirmed to be in development. So we already know it's going to be in development, but no idea on cast, recording, nothing was released about it until now. But I think it was the Illumination CEO who said that negotiations to bring in the OG cast were already underway, and that was about a couple years ago. But the biggest news about it, and we covered this one day, an intern at NBC Universal, they listed the film on their like LinkedIn post or something, and then quickly deleted it. And they said that it was going to be released in 2025. So I think that adds a ton of weight since they deleted it very quickly. But your reaction to Shrek 5, kind of coming next year, and then a Donkey spin-off. What's your take?
Shrek is love, Shrek is life. We need this, you know.
There we go.
It was teased at the end of Puss in Boots' Last Wish that they were going to head that way. And the writing was on the wall ever since, you know. And then we just get a little bit more details ever since. And I think this is, if DreamWorks hasn't made it official, they need to make it official like now, because everyone's getting excited.
Yeah.
Don't let everyone get so excited and expect this to come, and then DreamWorks just not say anything. They might as well just be like, yep, it's true, or no, it's not. If it's not, then cool, we can all have a cry for a week or two or months, and then we'll move on with our lives. But if they confirm it, it's going to be a party until 2025, and 2025 is just this film replaces not all of the films, but some of the films that left 2025, you know. It's great. I mean, we lost the Batman, but we get Shrek. So, fuck yeah. Let's do it. Make it official, DreamWorks. Do it.
I know, they need to. Have you seen that like meme online where it's just like, we got like X before GTA 6?
Yeah.
Yeah. I see that kind of line everywhere. And it kind of applies to Shrek 5 as well. Like, it's always like, oh, we got this before Shrek 5. And so which one's going to release first? Because they always get like pushed back. The demand has been there for a new one forever. So we're going to get Shrek 5 and GTA 6 in the same year. This is a dream come true, man. This is so hype. I cannot wait for this.
I think if this is made official, I would contemplate selling my Shrek Steelbook to get the four film one. I think I might do that because obviously I want to binge them all, and I know that Amazon has the individual films released, but that's just shelf space. So so I would seriously consider that. In fact, it's probably like 70% that would happen. So any buyers, flick us a message and just comment our name on who you're interested to buy off, and we'll do it. Make us an offer.
Mine's kept in a better condition than Nayan's, just an FYI. It is wrapped in a box right now. That's how well I've stacked them all. Okay, but Nayan, Donkey spin-off after Shrek 5. Thoughts on that one?
That one's a bit interesting, and it's just more in regards to, I want to know what the film's going to say. Is going to be set before he met Shrek or after he met Shrek? It's going to be set in between one of the movies or after Shrek 5. Donkey is annoying. He is annoying. And that's because...
He's great, though.
That's because I'm Shrek. So he is annoying. So could you imagine a whole film with just him like that? It'll be annoying. But hey, it will be entertaining as shit. I would be fully on board either way. But I just really want to know when it's set. I think that's the most intrigue I have over this. I don't even know if I want it to be set before Shrek, because we sort of know that he was treated like a slave animal, you know, like he was treated like shit until Shrek came along. So I have no idea. Maybe he just goes off maybe it's set between like 4 and 5, and he just goes off on his little adventure. Or maybe it just might be him and Dragon, you know, fun in their love and making babies.
What were they called again? Like Dronkies or something, eh?
I don't know. Something stupid.
I don't know. Yeah. Anyway, to Shrek 5, I'm not going to talk too much about that because I'm sure it's going to come up in the Victor of the Picture segment that we do. But I'll go to the Donkey spin-off movie. Now, I always thought that Donkey should have his own spin-off movie before Puss in Boots. When Puss in Boots was announced, I'm like, oh, that's not even the best character. The best character is Donkey to do it. Like, outside of Shrek, that is. But, you know, listening to what you're saying and kind of what, you know, the discourse has been about this news since it was announced a couple of days ago, is can Donkey hold his own movie? You know, we know that Puss in Boots can do that, but Donkey, like you said, he is annoying, but he's perfect in Shrek movies because he's the, you know, the polarization of what Shrek is. You know, it's that kind of annoying optimism, constantly yapping against an angry, silent ogre.
Us.
Technically, you know. So no, bro, you're not an ogre. Plus, you're louder than me. So yeah, I don't know if he can hold his own movie. You're gonna have to create something quite compelling around that for it to really work. But yeah, what makes Donkey work so well is the relationship and the dynamic that he has with Shrek. I don't know if he can hold his own movie, but I've always wanted to see it, and I'm open for it. You know, the more Shrek kind of stuff we get, the better. I just remember, you know, going to Puss in Boots 2, me, you, Kyan, we went to that screening. We didn't want to go because it's a Sunday morning, but I'm like, yeah, let's just go. And what a blast it turned out to be. And when that final scene came on, where he said, I got to go see some new friends, and then the far, far away music's in the back, the music's in the background, we see the location, we're like, oh, like you get hype, bro. You get like tingles. You're like, oh man, I didn't know Shrek like hit me this hard. So I'm excited for it. But you know, Universal's sitting on a gold mine with Shrek. I have heard that Shrek 5 will be releasing around the end of 2025, around that December mark. So it's going to go head to head with Avatar 3. But boy, that's going to be a great time to be alive. I'm so excited. You know what I'm not excited for, Nayan? It's Red One.
You should have just skipped the segment and go straight to Victor with the picture, I reckon.
No, Red One is too good to miss because The Rock was peeing in bottles during the production of this movie. So Red One has a $250 million budget towards it. It releases in November. It stars Dwayne Johnson, Chris Evans, Lucy Liu, and J.K. Simmons. It is about a shocking abduction from the North Pole. The commander of the ALF task force must partner with the world's most infamous bounty hunter to save Christmas. And the abduction is of Santa Claus, obviously. So yeah, that's kind of the Christmas movie of the year. Filming apparently had to be done around Dwayne Johnson, who was an average of 7 to 8 hours late to filming, which is an entire workday pretty much. He missed several days of shooting. These delays reportedly increased the budget by $50 million for a total of $250 million. To slap a $200 million price tag to a movie like this is a huge gamble by the studio alone, but $50 million added onto it is just ridiculous. So, but it's been disputed by the Rock's camp, shall we say? Yeah, Nayan, $250 million behind this. What do you think of the trailer? Are you excited for it? And can it make its budget back? Or can it reach the break-even point?
You know the answer to all those questions. The viewers know all the answers to those questions. Even the people that don't watch this podcast know the answer to all those questions. And no, I'm not excited. No, it's not going to make its budget back. And we all know that this looks like a big fucking pile of trash. It looks horrendous. Why is Santa Claus buff? That's not Santa Claus. Santa Claus is a fat, happy man with a big beard. And instead, he's a jacked guy that gets kidnapped. Fat Santa wouldn't do that. That's for sure. He would fight for his life. I just don't. And then Chris Evans in it as well. I mean, we saw him in that Ghosted, this, and that other one, Ryan Gosling. He probably should have just signed another 9-year deal with Marvel, I reckon. He would have had a lot more better movies than what he's done outside since Endgame, because they've all been pretty duds recently. The Rock. He's just The Rock, except he's just an innocent little elf that's like the size of like 20 elves, you know? That's just it's so stupid. Like, whose idea was it to like greenlight this movie and be like, yes, it's a good idea, and then keep going with it with all these on-set issues? Of course, Rock's camp is going to deny it because it's the person that pays them will tell them to do that, obviously. Yeah. So, trash. Low tier, 20%, I reckon. Rotten Tomatoes, 20%, 30 max.
Yeah. I mean, like, you could be right. Okay, this is something that I thought, because when I first heard this, I'm like, oh, it's kind of an intriguing concept. I'd like to see it. Does the concept itself, outside of everything we've heard and the budget and all that stuff, is the concept intriguing to you?
Yeah, I think so. For Fat Santa, for sure.
So the concept can work.
It can. I just think the actors weren't right in it. Even before these on-set issues, when it was like The Rock and Chris Evans, I was like, because there's a rock in it, and every time a film that has a rock in it, you know exactly what you're going to get, except for probably the Smashing Machine, because he's with, a completely different studio that he's worked with. But other than that, the stuff you see is very stock standard. So I could see this, when I heard this, I was like, okay, it's very similar to, is it Red Notice? The one with him and Ryan Reynolds? Not because they both have red in the title, but we're going to get similar vibes to that. We're going to have, what the government sort of official, whatever Rock's character was, and then the jewel thief. We're getting that here. Yeah. We're getting like a commander to the Elf Task Force, which is The Rock, and a bounty hunter, which is Chris Evans. We're just pretty much getting Red Notice 2 without Ryan Reynolds and a gold egg.
I know. Yeah, but like the thing with this, man, like, the commander of the Elf Task Force, it's just Dwayne Johnson being Dwayne Johnson. Mm-hmm. Like, he's not even acting in this. This is what just annoys me about the roles that he picks. And you're completely right about Chris Evans. Like, what is he doing, man? His career is going down the toilet very quickly. He should have just signed with the MCU again, because I don't know, besides Knives Out, what's something great that he's done since, what's a good movie he's been a part of since the MCU? I don't know. There's just nothing. So
Head up James Gunn at this point, I reckon.
Could you imagine? All right. But Red One comes out. I mean, can it even make its budget back? I don't know. I don't think so. We're going to have to see how it is. But I think, with Dwayne Johnson, Chris Evans, the concept itself, the November release date, it's not going to make its budget back, or the break-even point, sorry. But I think it can be a fairly decent hit at the box office, just because of the star power and the Christmas element to it. But they should have released it in December. I don't know why they're releasing it in November.
Take away The Rock. Is your opinion still the same in regards to box office hit?
No, definitely not. It depends who the replacement is. But I don't have much faith outside of him in terms of drawing an audience. Chris Evans can do something. But maybe it's gonna be interesting.
Maybe why it's coming out in November, it's been titled as a holiday movie, is because of Thanksgiving.
Yeah, true. Let's see. Anyway, I am not excited for this. I am in line with your thinking as well, because I know you're not excited for it either. So, are you excited for it? You've seen the trailer. Are you excited for it? Nayan's saying no. So, You shouldn't be excited for this one. This one's an absolute mess right from the production beginning. But you've seen the trailer. What do you think? Let us know down below. All right, we're on to our final segment of the day, and I've been trying to share my screen with Nayan while he was talking about Red One, but Discord, the thing we're recording on, is not working. I cannot share my screen at all. We are having an absolute thing, and I made so much photos for this as well.
All good. Just take screenshots and send on Messenger.
I'm not going to do that. If anything, we are going to record as a separate segment outside of our bulky one we got here. Let me try again. It's just like disappearing.
Here you go, viewers. This is a perfect example of experiencing technical difficulties, except it's live and with commentary.
All right. Okay. All right. It seems to have worked. I found a way to sort it out. But it won't do this. Oh, applications. All right. Okay. I think I've sorted it out, guys. I'm sharing it with Nayan now so he can follow along.
I can see it.
Nayan, can you see it?
I can see it.
You can see it? All right. I'm just figuring out my desktop now. All right, so you can see everything we got here. Of course, I'll edit it for everyone watching as well. I just wanted to get Nayan on my screen so I can see his pretty little face while we do this segment.
Sure.
But I don't think I'm going to have Nayan near me.
It's all good. Just bring up a photo on your phone.
Yeah. Oh, there we go. There we go. I got you right there, buddy. Okay, so sorry for the delay, everyone. That's good. Okay. All right. I got everything in. All right. So what you guys are looking at right now is the old Victor the Picture. I should explain what Victor the Picture is. Essentially, it is what you should be looking forward to the most in 2025. These are the projects, the films that you should be most looking forward to. I'm not going to go into detail about everything. If you want to know more about it, I will link the first Victor of the Picture we did in the description below, so be sure to check that out where I explain it all. The only changes I've made to this next Victor of the Picture is I've deleted that bottom row there. So that bottom row where you see, stuff like Thunderbolts, Minecraft, Fast X, Part 2, it's not there anymore. That allows more competition to come through, more movies to jump off Victor of the Picture, more films to jump onto Victor of the Picture, and just creates it more interesting for everyone else as well. So it's very hard to get onto Victor of the Picture. You need a lot in your arsenal to make it. So this is the last one. We have Mickey 17, that got first. We had Superman and Avatar 2. They were in the second row, and then we had a bunch of movies coming through afterwards as well. Okay, so let's move on. Let's start this next Victor of the Picture with a lot of changes. Boom. Okay. Didn't make Victor of the Picture. We have a bunch of movies here. Nan, I hope you can still see the screen, can you?
Yes. I really want to fuck with you and
Yes.
say no, but...
Don't do that. Don't do that to me. Not after the stress I just went through. All right. So these are the films that didn't make Victor of the Picture. Remember, I removed that bottom row, so at least 6 of these movies are out. Let me explain some of them now. Fast X, Part 2. F11, 11 Fast, 11 Furious, Furious 11, Fast 11. I don't even know what to call it. It moved to 2026. It's no longer part of Victor of the Picture for most anticipated 2025. Same with Jordan Peele movie. 6 months ago, I was sitting down with Nayan, and I'm like, Jordan Peele movie, that's in my most anticipated for next year, for 2025. But then it got delayed, and then it got delayed again. So who knows what's going on with that movie. It's moved to 2026. Same with Aang, The Last Airbender. That's moved to 2026 as well. It's moved to January 2026, which actually kind of worries me because January is kind of like the, movie dumpster for the Hollywood release slate. Nothing great gets released in January. So that makes me a little bit worried about that movie. And then we go through the movies that were relegated off Victor of the Picture. That's Elio. I know Pixar just released Inside Out 2. I know Inside Out 2 was great. But what has their track record been like with original movies post-COVID? I mean, besides Soul, it's not very good. It's not very good. So that's off. I don't have enough faith in it. Not yet. Thunderbolts with an asterisk. That movie... MCU decided to put all the most boring characters in one movie together. Yay, that's great. Tron Ares, it's probably going to be just as bad as Tron Legacy, but hey, it's going to look and sound great. So as long as Daft Punk is a part of that movie, I'm going to be a little bit excited for that cinematic experience. That's all there is to really look forward to. How to Train Your Dragon might have the most potential out of all this one here. If the studio really commits to this movie, then it can be great. But I don't think they're going to do that. Live action remakes of animated films don't usually turn out well. We know this. There's a huge track record of it. But if the studio was to commit, what they should do, they should be pushing this movie to be R-rated. I'm not even joking. An R-rated How to Train Your Dragon live action movie that feels and looks similar to Game of Thrones, I would be 100% on board with that. That would be great. Minecraft, it's just from a curiosity standpoint. Live action Minecraft movie, how does it even work? I'm excited to see how that is, but... it gets pushed off. Everything else I'm looking forward to more. Everything else you should be looking forward to more as well. Untitled Ryan Coogler movie. There's just not enough information about this, but we know Michael B. Jordan and Ryan Coogler, they make a dynamic duo when it comes to making films. They have a ton of great success together. And then there's Fantastic Four. Fantastic Four. It's off. It's off Victor of the Picture. You know why? You know why, Nan? Today, it was confirmed. The movie takes place in the 1960s and set in an alternative universe than the MCU.
That is so
there's no point. There's no point looking forward to it, guys. Just don't even care. No one wants a 1960s Fantastic Four. I mean, you may want it, sure, but we don't want it. We haven't had a great Fantastic Four movie in our lifetime. So who knows how this is going to be, but we're going to have to see something before we have some faith in it. As for me, there's no chance I'm putting it on Victor of the Picture. I haven't liked the casting. I don't like the plot development. I don't like the fact that Galactus is in it. Nothing with this movie has aligned with anything that I want from it. And yeah, that should give you some pause for concern. Marvel's track record is not going great as well. So yeah, we're going to have to see. All right, Nam, are you ready, my friend? Are you ready to go?
Wait.
Oh, he needs a drink.
No, I'm ready. Everyone else drink too.
Okay. Before we go through with this, any thoughts on the removed ones?
No, All good. I don't want to touch on Fantastic Four because that will just trigger me and I'll have to leave. And I've already been triggered once enough already this week, so let's not do it.
Fair enough. Me and you both, my friend. Me and you both. All right, let's move to the first bottom row of Victor of the Picture. Boom. There we go.
Oh, yeah, titles.
I can see Nayan. He's looking at this. He's like, eyes wide. The photos are different. He's like, did we get an editor? No, we didn't, Nayan. I just have too much time on my hands. I had to make this look good now, okay? So, we're working with a traffic light system this time. We got red, orange, and green. Green means it's a new film or it's gone up in Victor of the Picture. Orange means it's just stayed in the exact same row that it is. And red means that it slid down Victor of the Picture. So that's how we can see how things are going with Victor of the Picture. So we'll start off with the newcomer, Frankenstein. Frankenstein, by Guillermo del Toro. It's about Frankenstein. You know, he loves his monsters. We've seen it in a bunch of his movies. It's got the composer, two-time Oscar winner, the cinematographer as well, was nominated for the Shape of Water and Nightmare Alley, both Del Toro's films as well. So, you know the movie's going to look and sound good. It's also going to star Oscar Isaac as Frankenstein, Jacob Elordi's in it, Christopher Waltz, Mia Goth. There's so much to look forward to with this. It's a Del Toro movie for the win. Damien Chazelle movie, he's gone down, and that's just because there's more movies that have gone above him at this point in time. We need more information on what this Damien Chazelle movie is going to be before he can go up. And then we got the PTA movie under the working title of BC Project, whatever that means. There's not much about, there's not much further details about this movie, but it's got Leo. It's a PTA movie. It's 115 million budget and PTA's first movie in IMAX. I think there's plenty to be excited about. I did hear a rumor about the plot being mixed up really closely related to modern day politics, you know, with the whole Make America Great Again kind of stuff. So I think that makes it not as strong here, because that's a really hard movie to try and get right. So we'll have to see how that develops before it can even try and go up. Then we got Jurassic World 4. That one has slid down, and yeah, that's just because other movies have come in. And Jurassic World 4, I mean, you got Gareth Edwards there. He can capture scale. Dinosaurs need scale, so I'm really excited for it. But not enough to get higher on this list. And then we got a complete unknown, the Bob Dylan biopic by James Mangold. James Mangold is no longer in the shackles of Disney and their franchises. Indiana Jones, I'm going to write that off. That's Disney's fault. That's not James Mangold. So we're going to have to see if that's true or not. But Timothée Chalamet and James Mangold working together for a Bob Dylan biopic stays in row 5. Nayan, what do we think about this? Disagreements, agreements, surprises?
No disagreements, no surprises except for Frankenstein. I didn't even know that this film existed until now. I really hope it does release next year and doesn't get delayed. I feel it's one of those films that could get delayed just because we haven't heard or seen much about it, but so far so good.
Yeah. All right. Let's go on to the next row. Row 4. 4 movies now. There we go.
Whoa, that's a big drop.
Okay. Yeah, I know what he's referring to. Let's just start off with the green. Shrek 5, row 4. Now you may be thinking, okay, it's Shrek 5. You know, we've been waiting for Shrek 5 since, I don't know, over a decade now. This should be way higher. And believe me, if this was my most anticipated list, it would be right at the top, or at least in the top 2 rows. But it is not, because I am trying to be as objective as possible in terms of giving you guys great reasoning as to what movies you should be looking forward to. Shrek 5. I mean, we love Shrek. Everybody loves Shrek. They love the franchise. But think about those last 2 movies, specifically the last movie of Shrek. What happened in Shrek 4? We don't know. We forgot because it's shit. It's so bad. It's a horrible movie. And in my mind, at least with what happened with Shrek, is that the studio just ran out of directions to take the Shrek character. There was no growth to be had with the character. So I shouldn't really have much faith that they know what they're doing with these Shrek characters. They seem to have, wrapped up their storylines completely, hence the title Shrek Forever After. But on the bright side of things, and why it deserves a spot in Victor of the Picture, is look at what they did with Puss in Boots. They made those 2 movies great. Really good. Shockingly good, in fact. And who knows? Hopefully they have a villain that was like Puss in Boots' Last Wish. Then it'll be really great. But I need to see where they're going to take these characters before I can really get excited for it. And then we're going to go to the Smashing Machine. The Smashing Machine stays in its exact spot. It was in this room beforehand, and that's because it's Dwayne Johnson doing some acting for once. He usually plays extensions of himself. We covered that in the Red 1 trailer just beforehand. But yeah, the Dwayne Johnson in an A24 movie directed by Benny Safdie. Nayan likes the UFC. He says that he looks exactly like Mark Kerr, so he's got heavy makeup and prosthetics on. And you know The Rock just always looks like The Rock in every movie. Same outfit and everything. This is him completely transforming. I'm super excited to get a real Dwayne Johnson kind of performance and see what his potential is as an actor. And I think you need to be excited for that because not only is the studio and the director really good and you can rely on their consistent quality, but we're going to get something exciting from Dwayne Johnson for once. All right, Michael's just stay still because we haven't heard anything new about it. It just stays in that place right now. Who knows where this movie's going to fall? Is it going to be great like Elvis, good like Rocketman, or shit like Bohemian Rhapsody? We don't know. This movie can easily fall off Victor of the Picture or it can go high on Victor of the Picture. We're going to have to wait and see more information. And then Superman. Superman drops a lot. And it felt a little bit harsh at first to put Superman this low, but I think my reasons for what are above it is valid. Since we've done Victor of the Picture last, man, the suit reveal happened and we've had set photos. I don't know if you've seen those set photos, but they aren't looking too good. Now, we are, or at least me, I'm nitpicking a little bit, but I want to be clear that my main reasons for pushing it down this low were the other movies above it. It's not about those set photos or the suit reveal because that is, it's a nitpick at the end of the day, but it's not a reason to be concerned, but it's just not a reason to be more excited for that kind of movie, right? They haven't elevated the excitement in any way. They've made it go down. So that's why I've done it that way. But you'll see as we get through to more of the movies that is why it's down there. Any thoughts so far?
I think Shrek 4 is an automatic top 3 tier, regardless of quality. That's my opinion.
Nope.
That's my opinion.
No.
That is a world's opinion. Shrek is love, Shrek is life. That's a mantra everyone lives by. Michael, I think it's going to stay on Victor of the Picture right up until it releases. I mean, Michael Jackson's just the most iconic pop artist of all time. Sorry, Swifties. It's just a fact. He is so iconic, and the fact that it's his nephew, that's portraying him as well. It's just, it's in the family. So you just know that they're going to do this right. And I have full faith in Michael to be absolutely successful. Smash Machine, same comments as last time. I'm excited to see The Rock do, act rather than punch.
Yeah.
Superman, I really want to see what you have above. Because I did see the set photos and I thought they were way better than suit reveal. Because my main gripe about the suit reveal was how the colours were way too dark and had that black stain. And in the suit reveal, we saw that it was actually proper Superman colours and there was no black stain. Although I am still not a fan of the red trunks. If they got rid of the red trunks and a red belt, I think it would be a very close, perfect Superman suit for me.
Really?
The collar is a bit debatable.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it's got the iconic S on the back. Spoiler alert, but not spoiler alert. Just go look at the set photos that everyone on the internet right now. So yeah, I'm just intrigued. That's like what? It was second tier before. This is tier 1, 2. 2 tiers.
Yeah, it's in the fourth tier, fourth row.
Yeah,
so it's dropped 2 rows.
Yeah.
Steep drop, but I think it's deserving. Those set photos don't look anything good to me. I know color grading and post-production will change everything and how it looks, so we're going to have to see how that is. But yeah, I think the reasons are sound because 2025 is such a stacked year. But I got to respect it, Nayan. You are loyal to DC, so I got to give it to you for that one. And then we go on to row 3. Boom. There we go. Okay, so let's talk about the red first. Mickey 17 drops. That was our number 1 winner last time.
What's number 1?
Mickey 7. Oh, yeah, I know. He's looking forward to it. He doesn't know what it is. Mickey 17. And it was just announced yesterday, by the way. That's what's number 1. That's a spoiler alert. You guys will know. Close film fans will know what I'm talking about. But Mickey 17 has dropped from number 1 down to the 3rd tier. And that is because there's been a report recently that the reason for the delay is because there's a dispute between Bong Joon-ho, who directed Parasite, an almost flawless movie, is disputing for his final cut to be the theatrical cut, the one that's released in cinemas. But then Warner Brothers is on the other side, and they're like, no, we've paid $150 million. We need a film that's accessible to the general movie-going audience so that it can make money. I understand both sides. I get it. But despite the report has been disputed by Bong Joon-ho, it still gives me a pause for concern. Again, it's been delayed to January 2025. January, we know that is the dumpster yard for movies because it's too far away from the Oscars. The Oscars that'll be eligible for will be in March 2026. And movies don't really make box office or good box office money in January. It's just, look at historical data, you can see all that. Then we got this, the obvious. Zootopia 2, Mission Impossible 8, they're staying in that third row. There's no reason to make them go up and down. I think as we see more of all these movies, particularly those two, they're going to be competing for the number one spot. Okay. Nayan, thoughts on the third row? Fair enough drop for Mickey 17?
I don't know, I need to see the other two first. Oh, the other two tiers. But I think either Superman or Shrek should have taken Mission Impossible's thing.
No.
Bro, this thing's been delayed twice. This thing's been delayed twice. And the seventh one wasn't even that big. Yeah, sure, it's the last Mission Impossible ever and stuff like that. But, production right now, if we're going to take into consideration that, it's not doing that well with 2 delays. So, yeah.
What's a better franchise in terms of quality, DC or Mission Impossible?
Can't comment because we haven't seen this version of DC yet.
Touche. I still don't think so. And it is the final Mission Impossible. If it was not the final Mission Impossible, I would probably agree with your reasoning. But the final one, Tom Cruise is going to go all out. I think it's absolutely fair that it remains anticipation. We just got to. He's going to do something big to cap things off, and that's something to look forward to.
Skydive.
But this just goes to show how stacked this year is turning out to be. But we're going to go on to the second row now. The final 3 are awaiting. The final 2, here they are. Avatar 3, Untitled F1 Movie. So we'll start off with the Untitled F1 Movie. It finally gets its release date. $300 million budget. Huge gamble for Warner Brothers and Apple TV. But the reasons to be excited for this one are very, very clear. So it's the smallest IMAX camera developed has been put into the cockpit of an F2 car that's designed to look like an F1 car. That's enough to be excited about. It's done by Joseph Kosinski. He did Top Gun Maverick, and we know how great that movie turned out to be. Oops, I just spoiled that for man. Untitled F1 Movie. It's got Brad Pitt in it, an actor who can carry himself. It was filmed around the F1 season, so it's going to look and feel like the F1 culture that a lot of people know. So this is one where they just have a film crew inside the F1 season. And there's so much to look forward to. You're going to really feel it. Watching in IMAX is just going to be such a blast. So yeah, it's going to be a highly cinematic movie. I trust in Joseph Kosinski to bring this one to life. And then you got Avatar 3. Avatar 3 is just going to hang around on Victor of the Picture. Can it get to the top spot? I'm not really sure. Because when it comes to Avatar, it works differently because the visual effects is something that you have to look forward to. They always change the game whenever an Avatar movie releases. But then when it comes to the story side of thing, both Avatar movies have been good, but not great when it comes to story. However, when the first one was being developed, James Cameron, he didn't really have, it wasn't planned to be a 5-film saga. He had planned it as one movie. And now, blew up to $2.8 billion. And so he had to create these sequels. And Avatar 2 kind of laid the stones for these future movies to come out. So it's going to be building on a story that was left on a cliffhanger. Perhaps that makes the story better, perhaps not. We got to see where it goes. But you should be looking forward to Avatar 3 on the pure cinematic spectacle alone. This tier right here is the cinematic tier, as I like to call it. So Nan, you've already seen the final one, so I'm not even going to get your opinion, but what is your opinion on these two here? Does Untitled F1 Movie, does it deserve to be in the second tier?
I do know that I had it my most anticipated for this year, But just in regards
when
to
it
that,
didn't have a release date.
but in regards to that big of a jump, I definitely think either 2 or 3. I'd put
What would you have in 2?
Zootopia 2.
That's can't argue with that. Can't argue with that.
Yeah,
That's a tough one.
Avatar 3, Victor of the Picture is about what people should be excited for, right?
Correct.
They shouldn't be excited for Avatar 3.
They shouldn't.
No, I mean, the intrigue about Avatar was the visuals. The intrigue about Avatar 2 was the visuals over, I think, a 10, 12, 13-year period. This is now like a 3-year period, so there's not that much advancements. You touched upon it before. They were good movies, not great. Did everyone go see those movies for the story, or did they go see it for the visuals? It was the visuals at the end of the day, and what they're pretty much going to get is very similar to Avatar 2. So, I don't know. I mean, yeah, I don't know.
No, fair. You got some fair comments there. I'll give you that one. But, what we're hearing about Avatar 3 in terms of it being around fire, I guess he's taken on the elements now. Something to look forward to. But you might be right. If we do see, that first trailer reveal and it doesn't, show much advancement, it looks very similar to what The Way of Water is, you're going to see it drop down. But it is going to be on this, the budget's going to be something like 400 million. It's going to be something ridiculous. But yeah, we know that these movies, at least they provide that cinematic spectacle, but not much beyond that. So we're going to have to see where it goes. Should get interesting as we go ahead. This is why this year's so dynamic. There's going to be so much changes as we get through to the end of the year. But we get into the final one now. And that was one that was announced 2 days ago. I had looked at it and I'm like, no release date. It can't be on Victor the Picture. And then a release date was announced. It's Begonia. I don't know if Nayan's heard of this one. Nayan? No. Oh, Begonia. So this is one I heard about at the start of the week. It's another Yorgos Lanthimos movie. It has Jesse Plemons and Emma Stone in it. And it's about 2 conspiracy-obsessed young men kidnap a high-powered CEO of a major company, convinced that she is an alien intent on destroying planet Earth.
Oh, yes, I have heard of this.
Yeah, that's the synopsis of this one. And that sounds completely like a Yorgos movie, right? There's just, he takes these really abstract, almost silly kind of plots and makes them something thought-provoking, compelling, and just he has a way with them. We saw what Poor Things was. If I tell you the plot or the synopsis of Poor Things right now, you'd think I'm crazy. But he made that movie work as one of the 2023's best movies. But the thing that got me so excited about this, the thing that should make you so excited for this, is that the release date was November 7th, 2025. November 7th, we know what that means. It's going to have the full film festival circuit on its hands. It's going to have a huge Oscar campaign. This is going to be another one where Yorgos Lanthimos can finally get his Best Director win. Emma Stone's probably going to be going for another Best Actress win as well. I think there's nothing that can hold this film back. It just feels like another Yorgos movie that's going to dominate the year. Me and Nayan were kind of not against, but weren't convinced by Poor Things, because we just didn't have too much exposure to Yorgos at the time, and it just looked like a big year. But judging from Poor Things, the good reception to Kind of Kindness, anything Yorgos does with Emma Stone, it's gonna be great. Begonia's the one. It deserves Victor the Picture. Nayan, thoughts on this list? And please don't say Superman should be number 1. Okay?
Shrek should be number 1.
No, don't do this.
I don't know. I understand your points, and I understand people like you and I should be this is the Victor of the Picture for us. But I just think in terms of the general movie audience, I just don't think it is their Victor of the Picture. I mean, yeah, people want to see something crazy and wacky, but I think Yorgos is just way too crazy and wacky, like Poor Things. I mean, I don't think a lot of people see it, which is why I think Avatar should probably take that number 1 spot or something, or even the Untitled F1 movie. I think a lot of people go see that over Begonia. But I agree with you. A lot of people should see this because it has an interesting concept. It's got a great team behind it as well. But I don't know if they will. They should, but I don't know if they will.
I mean, that's completely fair. But yeah, this is me telling them that you should be excited for this. This is what they should be seeing. And this is what you should be excited for, because these are the great movies. We constantly hear these days, and it's a gripe that I have. It's like, oh, we don't get any original movies. We get tons of original movies. Most of the movies that release are original movies. You just don't see them. You don't support them. That's why the box office is so low, and that's why studios don't make more.
Also,
so...
This dude's on like fucking crack or something, bro. 2023, 2024, 2025, all movies.
I know.
All with Emma Stone in them as well. Like, this guy is a pumping machine. Like, does he have any spare time? I don't know.
I know, yeah. Like, there's always a Yorgos movie every year, but Kinds of Kindness, that's an anthology movie, so there's no reason to be... this. If there was Kinds of Kindness, it would not be on this list, because it's just that... It's just a different style of movie, but this is one where it's gearing up to be his next big Oscar movie. And I think that's the kind of quality that you can just rely on when it comes to Yorgos, when it comes to Emma Stone. So it may not be what people want or what people will see at the end of the day. I think we're quite right in our opinion that Avatar 3, Zootopia 2, Shrek 5, they're going to be... those are the movies that people are they're going to see the most. But this is what they should be excited for. These are the movies that they should be, the ones that they should be rooting for. But they won't. We know how general audiences are. Sorry to you guys, but yeah, if you want to support movies, Bugonia, those types of movies are the ones to support. But yeah, Nayan's cancelled the stream. But yeah, that is Victor the Picture for this time round.
I hit the wrong button.
Oh, anyway, we've cleared up Victor the Picture. Nayan, I hope you like the segment. I hope you like those pictures, because they have the titles now, the traffic light system. It's all great.
It is good.
It's all looking good.
It's easier to read and keep up with now.
I know, but there is going to be so much changes as we get to the last half of the year. It's going to be so much fun to continue doing Victor the Picture, just because we're going to hear a lot more about it. We're going to see a lot more about those movies coming in 2025. It's so much to look forward to. That's why we're going to be changing things. That's why I got rid of that bottom row as well. Probably a good time now is to say the big news of my life, as I seem to have a regular life update every 6 months. I don't want to have a big life update, but I do.
And you already said it. Already said it earlier too, by the way.
Yeah, I was trying to avoid to say it to make it kind of an announcement thing, but yeah, I alluded to it, but now I'm saying it. I am moving back to Auckland, New Zealand in 2 weeks. So me and Nan will be back together, striving again. We don't know what that looks like. We don't know if we're going to be together or it's going to look the exact same it is now. As for future... Yeah, exactly. I'm going to have probably a better backdrop. I got some good posters that I can put up. I can be like Nayan and hopefully earn some compliments as he has along the way. But yeah, we're going to test, and we're going to see how things look, and hopefully make it exciting, and just continue doing these like fun segments, covering the good news, all that kind of stuff. Until I do move, who knows what it's going to look like. We're going to try and keep the same as we got with the video right now, but... I'm trying to get rid of certain gear that I bought in Australia so that I can move back, and that might be getting rid of the desk, the monitors, all that kind of stuff. So it may have to be just an audio version of a podcast in the future. We're going to have to see what happens with my life. But yeah, that's the good news. Good news? Bad news? It's bad news for me.
Good news for me.
For you. Yeah, it's good news for you. I am super excited to be doing it back in person with Nan again. It's more fun that way. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it. We'll see how it is, but yeah, we're going to continue doing this, whether it's audio or video. Yeah. Anyway, you've heard us yap on for an hour and 18 minutes now. I'm so sorry for these long ones we're doing right now, but we got some good segments. Anyway, I'm just going to end it right there, guys. Thank you so much for joining us. If you continued all this way, thank you so much. Yeah. Anyway, we'll catch you next time. Keep bringing the hype. Peace.
See ya.